Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Wednesday, January 15th, 2025. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games I love the most in college hoops and other sports, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Wednesday in college basketball. First up, we have Kansas and Iowa State. This one is going to be a 7 p.m. Eastern start time on ESPN2. Now, Kansas and Iowa State, 2 top 10 teams, 2 big rivals in the Big 12. This should be a great game. And, Kansas is 12-3 this season. They're 3-1 in conference play. They're on a 3-game win streak. On the other side, you got Iowa State, 14-1 this year. They're an 11-game win streak. It's the best win streak in college basketball right now. And they are 4-0 in conference play. Their only loss of the year was a neutral site loss by 2 points to the number 1 team in the country in the Auburn Tigers. So the Cyclones are on a roll, and we know how strong their home court advantage is. For me, though, I think this is a case of just too many points. Kansas last year went into Iowa State and at least covered. Yes, it was an Iowa State win by 4, but Kansas was getting 4.5 in that one. They're getting more in this one. And for me, Kansas, their defense is excellent. It can go toe-to-toe with Iowa State. We talk about how defense travels. I think it does in this game. The question is, can Kansas make enough tough buckets to keep up offensively and to cover the number, potentially win it outright? I think they can. They're creating good looks offensively, shot quality-wise. They do a great job of taking care of the basketball, which is really important against Iowa State's aggressive defense. I think this is going to be a close game. I think Kansas has a chance to win it outright, but I'm going to take the points. And I also think it's kind of a letdown spot for Iowa State because they're coming off the big road overtime victory over Texas Tech, a game they were trailing for a majority, and a game they probably, maybe didn't deserve to win. They found a way to win it anyway. That's what the good teams do. They find a way to win, but I think it's a letdown now against Kansas. Give me the Jayhawks plus the points. Next up, it's UAB in South Florida. This one, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. UAB really impressive in that last game over FAU. I liked FAU in that one, but UAB won 81-76 outright as an underdog, and UAB is now playing its best basketball this season. They've won 3 straight games in conference play, 5 out of the last 6 games overall. And this was a team that had a disappointing start to the year because the expectations were sky high. Last year's team won the AAC, made it as a 12 seed in the NCAA tournament, lost in the first round, but played a very competitive game against San Diego State. And now, fast forward to this year, returned 60% of last year's team to this one. And, the expectations were high because of it. They had a rough start to the year, like I mentioned, straight up and against the spread. But now they're playing their best ball this season, similar to a team like Vermont, who was also a tournament team last year. We're seeing some good prices with the Catamounts after a bad start to this season, and we're taking advantage of it by taking them in a few spots. I think we do the same here with UAB in this game. It's a reasonable price with what I believe is the much better team, especially on the offensive side. I think South Florida has definitely done a lot better than the expectations. It was such a tough situation for this program to be in this year. And, they started slow. They lost to Florida and Charleston, but now they have a winning record, both straight up in conference play. I just don't think fundamentally this team is strong enough, especially in the turnovers. UAB does a great job of taking care of the ball. They're an amazing offensive rebounding team. I think that really hurts South Florida in this game, and I don't think they can keep up offensively for 40 minutes. So give me UAB in this one on the road. Next up, we have Penn State and Michigan State. This one's going to be 7:30 Eastern on the Big Ten Network. Penn State, that was my bank shot best bet on Sunday over Oregon, and I needed the points in that one. That was they lost the game outright, 82-81, but Penn State was getting about 2 points, so they covered the spread, and I appreciate the efforts in that game. However, really wasn't impressed with Penn State. And I think because a lot of it was because their backcourt is banged up right now. Ace Baldwin missed that game. Kern Jr. also, at the end of that game against Oregon, had a little bit of an injury. I'm not sure what his status is for this matchup, but those are 2 very key players. You could argue the 2 best players on this roster that are right now questionable. They very well could both play in this game, but for me, I think on the road against a Michigan State team, it's red hot right now, playing its best basketball this season by far, earning just blowout win over blowout win. We saw the 34-point victory over Washington, the 10-point win on the road last time against Northwestern. This is a balanced team. They're top 25 in both just an offensive and defensive efficiency. Great rebounding team. They should have a nice advantage in this game. For me, the only issue or concern would be the turnovers. Penn State does a great job under Mike Rhodes, very aggressive defense to force a lot of turnovers. But if that backcourt is banged up, I don't think it's going to be as effective in this game on the road. I have to go with Michigan State in this one and lay the points at home. Next up, it's Georgia and Tennessee. This one is going to be an 8 p.m. Eastern start time on the SEC Network. Tennessee did a pretty good job of bouncing back after that 30-point loss in Gainesville against the Gators. Tennessee bounced back on Saturday with the win over the Longhorns 74-70. And while I still think Tennessee is one of the teams to beat in the conference and in the country, I don't think they should be laying this many points against a Georgia team. It's already proven it's going to be competitive in this conference this season. Georgia, you can definitely point to the fact that they have not played many games on the road this year, and that's definitely a good point to make because they've only played 2 true road games. They're 1-1 in those ball games. The one win was over their rival in Georgia Tech, but still, they have not really been tested away from home. I still think, though, this team is pretty balanced and good enough defensively to keep up in this game. I think it's going to be a pretty low-scoring game, but for me, Tennessee's defense has just given up 70-plus points in the last 2 games. Not something we're used to seeing from the Vols. And we've also seen what can happen when their shots aren't falling, like their game against the Gators. They took a lot of bad shots in that one. They paid the price. They scored 43 points in a blowout loss. I just worry that if Tennessee goes through a cold stretch in this game, Georgia could certainly take advantage, go on a scoring run themselves, and that could be enough in itself to cover the number, if not, potentially flirt with an upset win. I think it's going to be a competitive game. I think it's going to be a single-digit ball game. I'm going to go with Georgia plus the points in this one. And the final game we're to talk about for the Wednesday card in college basketball. By the way, not my favorite card in college hoops. I think there's a lot of great games from an entertainment perspective, but not so much from a betting value perspective. So I'll be treading lightly. But in this game, it's Utah and TCU. It's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. For me, I think Utah is the more balanced team. TCU right now has the better record in conference play and it's coming off the big win over BYU, but the defense has been outstanding. The offense has been so inconsistent and very untrustworthy. Both teams really struggle at the free throw line, but at least Utah takes a lot of threes. They make them at a good rate, and their effective field goal percentage is a lot sharper. TCU is ranked 234th in effective field goal percentage. From a shot quality perspective, this team's not great on the offensive side. And I think Utah's defense, honestly, is a little bit underrated. They're forcing some tough shots. They're top 30 in two-point defense. And I think they benefit from a matchup like this. Utah, when you look at they're 9-6 this season, but you look at all 6 of their losses, Mississippi State, St. Mary's, Iowa, Baylor, Texas Tech, and Iowa State. All those teams are top 40 in KenPom. So they've struggled in their step-up games, but I don't consider this one, even though it's on the road. I'm going to go with Utah in this matchup on the road. And that's it. Those are the games for Wednesday in college basketball. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and put those college basketball picks in the comment section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pickdawgz Premium. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.